Okay, great. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Alex Strazi. I'm a principal UX designer here at protocols.io. And today we'll be going through a webinar that is covering video. So we'll walk through how you can supplement your protocols with video. And as we walk through this, we're going to go through a few different steps about how to add video, how to even shoot video, and briefly how to edit video before uploading it to the protocols.io platform. If you have any questions, feel free to add them to the chat window, and we'll be kind of answering questions at the end of the presentation. And keep in mind that this presentation is being recorded, so that might be something to consider when asking questions. So when we are looking to spruce up our protocols, I always suggest that we take a look at a couple different examples. And if you haven't seen it already, there is a page we have called the Explore page. That's just at protocols.io/explore. And we have a lot of nicely curated examples of different protocols here. But today we actually won't be going into the Explore page. I want to highlight a couple really nice video protocol examples with nice video executions. Before I do, really, I want to answer the questions like, why video? So video is easy to digest. You know, your brain can process video and even images much faster than text. It has complete visuals, so you can see exactly how someone performs an action. Whereas if, for example, someone is not descriptive enough, it may be hard to understand exactly what they're doing. And when our goal is reproducibility, this becomes extremely important. And last but not least, video is universal. When you're performing a particular action, it's not lost in translation. If there are people that are viewing a protocol and the protocol is written in a language other than their mother tongue, video is a really nice way to capture what you're doing and nothing is lost in translation. I have a nice video example of a protocol here, so I'm going to go ahead and just click into that. This is actually a pretty nice protocol in general because, as you can see, they have a nice amount of images that they use. But we're going to scroll down to this step here, step 3.2. And as you can see, they have a video here. And if I click this play button, we see exactly how this user or how the researcher is actually performing this particular action. And I'm going to mute the audio there. And so this ends up becoming very helpful. And so as much as you can add details, the better. So
MOV's life.
Great. So I'm going to go into another example here. And so as you can see, this video is one of the first in one of the earlier steps, and I'll go ahead and mute that here. So this video, as you can tell, it's taken in a different orientation. So that's also something to consider when adding video. Sometimes it might be helpful to do that. Sometimes it might be better to have the camera or phone to be landscape. And actually, you know, this is a really cool video and experiment here. But if I scroll, or if I zoom to about 1 minute and 58 seconds, we could see precisely what the researcher is doing. And it ends up becoming a really, really good resource for anyone that will want to reproduce this experiment. So a couple considerations when filming the video. As you might have noticed, I mentioned that the phone was held portrait versus landscape. And we're in a really exciting time now such that we have really high resolution cameras most of the time in our pockets. And so there are a lot of interesting considerations to make. One of them is that it's not about aesthetics, right? Don't stress out about the perfect shot. As you can see, or I will be actually demonstrating a shot that I set up that really goes home to this point pretty clearly, and I'll show that to you in a second. And so as long as what you're doing is clear and visible, and the message gets through, that's what's most important, because again, our goal is to communicate information and try to get a high amount of reproducibility when communicating this information. Another thing to consider is you should enlarge the frame. So zoom in only if you need to. Otherwise keep all your actions within one frame. And like I mentioned earlier, most smartphones do record in HD. Newer phones even record in 4K. And so this really lowers the barrier for high resolution video. I'm not saying that we need to upload 4K videos to the site, but as kind of the technology increases, the higher quality, the better, at any time that you can achieve those higher qualities. So I'm gonna now walk you through a video example. We don't have at the protocols.io office here, we don't have a lab or a bench, but I kind of replicated a small experiment here. So I'm gonna show you what that experiment is. And so notice that these are an MP4 file. I took this video with a Android phone, and I transferred the file to my computer. And here is actually oops, that's the wrong one. There's two videos. So here's the other video. And so what we can see here is we have two beakers. One is filled with coffee, very strong coffee, and then the other is filled with milk, which in this experiment happens to be my buffer. And as you notice, I'm setting up the shot here, and I'm setting it up to put it on this stirrer. And as I'm setting up, I'm starting to realize, I'm a little bit too close, and it might make more sense to kind of move back from my workspace. And here you could see me adjusting the camera. It's on a tripod, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So I'm moving it back so I can have more information in the shot. Now notice, maybe the shot is not as beautiful as it was before. You can kind of see some things in the background, but that's okay because you can clearly see the actions that I'm performing now. And there we go with the buffer. And here I go to stir. And this might have been the most advanced way I have ever made coffee. So one thing that's really interesting, and it's something I'm about to do, and there's my protocols.io mug, is that as I'm pouring the liquid into the mug, I forgot about the magnetic piece for the stirrer, and it actually drops in. And so at this point, I am considering, should I stop the recording and do it again? And if you're publishing to a protocol, you might want to do that. But it's also interesting to kind of note that that could happen. So it's not footage that I would necessarily delete because it could be a reference point. And so that was one of the first videos I've taken. Let's take a look at how I actually set up the shot. So what I used was an Android phone, similar to this one here. And there was a tripod that I got from Amazon. It was an Amazon Basics tripod, and it was pretty low cost, I think less than $20. And I got a phone mount that goes on top of the tripod that helps mount the phone onto the tripod. And so this entire setup here, not including the cost of my phone, was less than $30. And so this image here kind of shows how I set it up. And so even if you have just one person in the lab, you can even set up the tripod like that. A couple considerations here. Make sure you have ample lighting. If it's too dark, you might want to turn on some lights if you can, depending on your experiment, so you can kind of set up the shot in a nicer way. Position the tripod such that it does not interfere with your exercise. And I think this is an especially important step because of safety, especially if you're handling any hazardous materials. You definitely don't want anything in your way that could compromise your safety. If you don't have a tripod, position the phone or camera in a safe and sturdy place, or even ask someone for help. And whenever you can, try to position the shot with wide angles. And again, we cannot stress this enough, safety first. So make sure that if you are recording, it does not interfere with what you're doing with the experiment, from a success rate for your experiment, but then also from the standpoint of safety. So That's definitely a very important thing to consider. Here's another shot of the phone mount, like kind of like a close-up of the phone mount. And as you can see, it doesn't attach to the phone in anything other than a clamp. There's a couple different styles of these. And if you just search for a phone mount for tripod on Amazon, you should have quite a few options. So we talked about transferring files, and there's a couple ways to do it. I actually ended up doing two different methods. One was uploading to a cloud storage provider like Dropbox and then downloading it. But then I could have also used AirDrop on Apple and iPhone, on Macintosh and iPhone, transfer via USB. If the video is small enough, through email, or if you have a camera, digital camera, you can use SD card. And that goes for camera to computer as well. So right now, Protocols.io allows you to upload in MP4 files. And I don't know if you heard it earlier, but our CTO just walked by the room and mentioned that we now have MOV support as well. So what that means is that if you're taking video on most iPhones and most Android devices, you should be able to directly upload those file formats to the platform. Right now we have about a 500 megabyte upload limit, which is should be pretty good for most video file sizes and lengths. If it's a little bit too long, if it's a little bit bigger than that, whether the video is too long or higher than a 500 megabyte storage, then there are actually a couple options that I'll go through shortly. And then, of course, we can talk about editing. But before I do that, actually, I want to show a little bit about how we can help optimize this video that we have before we add it to the protocol. So as you notice, the first kind of, it looks like 30 seconds or so, maybe even more, I was setting up the shot. So this is information that's not necessarily useful for the users that are trying to replicate this experiment. So I ended up editing the video. So what I did was I brought it into a video editing software, and I just sliced it. We're not going to go into the details of that on this webinar, but there are a couple tools, some of them that are free, that would be able to help you to do that. And here is the edited video. As you can see, it goes right into the action. It cuts out kind of my setup process in the beginning. And so this is going to be a much more efficient video for me when I upload it to my protocol. And there goes the buffer. Okay, great. So now let's add this video to a protocol. So I have an example protocol here. I just went to the plus sign on my protocols.io file manager and then clicked on protocol, and I've added one step, the test step. And so if I want to add a video to step 2, there are a couple ways I can do this. The first way is this icon here. And let's see if I could zoom in there. So this is the insert image / video icon. And then right next to it is the embed media icon. And so we'll be talking about both of these. And so since I already have a nicely kind of cut MP4 file, I'm going to go ahead and click on this and then click on edited video 1. And I see that it's 71.9 megabytes, which is below the threshold of 500 megabytes. That's my max. And I'm just going to go ahead and click open. And now it's uploading that video to the live site. And so looks like my video is starting to upload pretty nicely. And once this uploads, it should appear directly on my protocol, which is actually very cool. It's the same process of uploading an image, but the video will appear on the site with a kind of like the playback functionality. And there it is. And so right now, this is the edit view of my protocol. I will cut the audio off and press play just to make sure that everything is running. And there it is, a nice and high quality, all shot on a mobile device. So I can go ahead and click on a new step here because I actually have another, well, I do have another video, But I also have another way to implement this video here. So I have uploaded to YouTube. So I've created a YouTube channel, and I have uploaded the video, and YouTube gives me this link here. And so I'm just going to copy this link and then go back to my protocol. And now we're going to try this kind of secondary option for embed media. So I'm going to click on this embed media, and it says paste your embed code below. So actually I copied the link, but what I do need to copy is the embed code. So I'm going to go to the video. I'm going to leave the site. And here is my video. And if I pause it for a second and click on these three, or click on share, I should have an option for embed. So I'm going to click on this embed option, and here is the embed code. So I'm going to copy this and then go back to protocols.io, and I can paste that code here. I don't need to make any changes. I can just copy and paste and then press save. And there it is. So above in step 2, you can see that this is my video that was directly uploaded to protocols.io. And below is my video that was uploaded to YouTube and is now playing on my protocol. And actually, one thing that I want to show you is another video that I've taken. And so this was a video of another step in the process. So after I ran my video experiment, I wanted to just quickly rinse out the beakers before I put them in the dishwasher. And any detail that you can add, I think, will be very helpful. Of course, it's dependent on your experiment, but remember that even after you might have finished recording the main part of your experiment, if your camera and tripod is still set up, there could be other things that you could record that would still be useful to the other researchers that are looking to replicate the protocol. And so we're not going to upload this video or demonstrate that it is going into protocols.io, but this is just another example of the different types of things that you can actually record when you're recording your steps. I want to quickly go back to this slide here because we briefly touched on it, but we didn't go through the specific applications. DaVinci Resolve is a video editing application that I believe has several free versions and is very robust. Adobe Premiere is a paid software that definitely has a free trial if you're interested in checking it out, and that's on both Mac and also PC. And then if you're on Mac, most of them are loaded with iMovie, which allows you to make quick edits or even add effects and things like that. So editing is definitely at reach. And again, we're not going for aesthetics, so just simple cuts here and there, I think, should be more than enough for most of the applications. And that's it. So that was a quick walkthrough of how to shoot video for an experiment and also add it to the protocols.io platform. What we can do now is open it up to questions and go from there.